I always believed trust was stronger than love. Love could fade after arguments. Attraction could disappear with time. But trust was supposed to survive everything. At least, that's what I believed. Do you like this one? Lily asked, holding up another wedding invitation. The gold lettering looks elegant. I smiled. Emma would probably say it's too expensive. Lily laughed. She definitely would. I can already hear her. We need to save for the honeymoon, right? Exactly. She placed the sample beside 3 others on my coffee table. So, she asked, I think this blue one fits us better. You mean fits Emma better? I've learned that's basically the same thing. She rolled her eyes playfully. I can't believe you're admitting that before the wedding. I'll deny it later. Too late. We both laughed. The apartment felt warm and comfortable. Music played softly in the background while invitation samples covered the table. Emma had texted me earlier. Busy tonight. Lily's coming over to help you with the invitations. I'll be at Lily's place. Girls' night. Love you. Asterisk asterisk. It sounded completely normal. Until Lily's phone buzzed. She glanced at the screen. Then her smile disappeared. What? I asked. She looked at me strangely. That's weird. What is? She slowly turned her phone toward me. It was Emma. Thanks again for covering for me tonight. I owe you one. Asterisk asterisk. I frowned. Covering? I didn't know what she meant. My stomach tightened. Lily. I swear. She unlocked her phone with trembling fingers. I haven't answered. I looked at the earlier messages. There weren't any. No conversation. Just that single text. I picked up my own phone. Emma's message still sat there. I'm spending the evening with Lily. I looked back at Lily. She looked back at me. Neither of us spoke. The silence became louder than words. Finally, I asked quietly, You're here? Yes. So she isn't with you? No. Did you two have plans? She shook her head. Emma asked if I could keep you company while she handled something. What something? She didn't say. I stared at the floor. Maybe she forgot what she texted. Lily didn't answer. You think that's possible? She hesitated. I don't know. I dialed Emma's number. 1 ring. 2. 3. Voicemail. I tried again. Straight to voicemail. Maybe her battery died, I said. Maybe. But Lily didn't sound convinced. I tried a 3rd time. Nothing. I tossed my phone onto the couch. This isn't like her. Lily folded her hands together. No. You've known her since college. Yeah. Has she ever done something like this? She looked uncomfortable. I don't want to cause problems. I need the truth. She sighed. There have been strange excuses. What kind? A few girls' nights that never actually happened. I looked at her. What? I thought maybe she'd forgotten to tell me. How many? I don't know. Lily. 3. Maybe 4. And you never said anything? I assumed there was an explanation. So did I. Neither of us spoke again. The room suddenly felt colder. My phone buzzed. Ryan. I answered immediately. Hey. Dude, Ryan said cheerfully. How's wedding planning? I forced a laugh. Complicated. What happened? I looked at Lily before speaking. Emma told me she's with Lily. And Lily is sitting in front of me. Ryan laughed. Seriously? I wish I was joking. Silence. Okay, he finally said. Maybe it's nothing. Nothing. Maybe she wanted a surprise. What surprise requires lying? I don't know. You believe that. I think you're jumping to conclusions. I've called her 3 times. So call again later. Ryan. Look, you've trusted Emma for years. I know. Don't ruin that because of one weird night. I rubbed my forehead. I hope you're right. I usually am. You'll never let me forget you said that. Nope. Despite everything, I smiled. Thanks. Keep me updated. I will. The call ended. Lily quietly gathered the invitation samples. You don't have to clean. I need something to do. I get that. She paused. I'm sorry. You didn't do anything. I still hate seeing this. So do I. Another hour passed. Still nothing from Emma. No call. No text. No explanation. I stood and walked into the kitchen for water. My phone lit up with a banking notification. Shared credit card purchase approved. I frowned. The amount made my heart stop. $487. Restaurant. Not just any restaurant. One of the most expensive places in the city. I stared at the screen. Lily noticed my expression. What happened? I handed her my phone. She read the notification. Oh, Emma said we were saving money. I know. She said every dollar mattered. Lily slowly looked up. Maybe it was business. She doesn't have business dinners. You're right. I leaned against the counter. Everything suddenly connected. The fake location, the unanswered calls, the expensive dinner. None of it made sense. Or maybe it made too much sense. I don't want to believe she's cheating. Lily spoke gently. You don't have to decide tonight. But I can't ignore this. No. I looked at the engagement ring photo hanging on the wall. Just 2 months until our wedding. 2 months until forever. Or maybe until everything ended. I slipped my phone into my pocket. I'm done making excuses. Lily nodded slowly. What are you going to do? I took a deep breath. I'm going to find the truth. And if it destroys everything, I swallowed hard. Then at least I'll stop living inside a lie. The next morning, Emma smiled as if nothing had happened. Good morning, she said, wrapping her arms around me. Did you sleep well? Yeah, I lied. She kissed my cheek. I'm sorry I wasn't home last night. It's okay. You and Lily had fun? We picked invitations. I knew she'd help. I forced another smile. You were with her all night? She nodded without hesitation. Of course. The lie came so naturally that it made my stomach twist. She grabbed her purse. I'll see you tonight. I love you. I love you too. She kissed me again before leaving. The door closed. I stood there for almost a minute. Then I whispered, Who are you? My phone buzzed. Lily. Did she say anything? I called her immediately. No. She lied again. Straight to my face. Lily sighed. I hate this. So do I. What now? I need proof. You really want to keep digging? I have to. She stayed quiet. Finally, she said, I'll help. You don't have to. I do. Why? Because she used me. I closed my eyes. Thank you. For what? For not making me feel crazy. You aren't. Over the next 3 days, I stopped asking questions. Instead, I watched. Emma left early. Came home late. Smiled constantly. She laughed over dinner. Asked about wedding flowers. Talked about honeymoon plans. Every word sounded rehearsed. Every smile felt borrowed. One evening, she glanced at her phone. I have another girls' night Friday. I nodded. Have fun. I will. She kissed me. The moment she walked away, I texted Lily. Girls' night? Her reply came instantly. No. I'm home with my parents. Asterisk asterisk. I stared at the screen. Another lie. Another excuse. Another piece of evidence. Later that night, Lily called. I checked something. What? Remember that restaurant charge? Yeah. I searched Emma's social media. And she posted nothing. So. But someone else did. Who? A waiter. What? He posted pictures from that night. Was Emma in them? No. My heart sank. So we have nothing. Wait. There was one photo. And a man was sitting across from someone whose face wasn't visible. You think it was Emma? I don't know. Can you send it? Already did. I opened the picture. The man's face was perfectly clear. Dark suit. Expensive watch. Confident smile. I'd never seen him before. Do you recognize him? Lily asked. No. Neither do I. I saved the photo anyway. The next afternoon, my sister Claire knocked on my apartment door. You look terrible. I've been better. She sat beside me. Tell me. So I did. Every lie. Every message. Every missing answer. She listened without interrupting. When I finished, she folded her arms. I want to punch somebody. I figured. But not yet. I looked at her. You aren't telling me to leave her? I'm telling you to be smart. What if I already know the truth? You don't. I know enough. No. She pointed at me. You know pieces. Claire. Listen. I am. If you explode now, she'll deny everything. Probably. You need facts. I hate this. I know. I feel stupid. She reached over and squeezed my shoulder. No. I trusted her. That's not stupidity. What is it? Love. I looked away. It doesn't feel like love anymore. It feels like betrayal. I nodded slowly. Claire stood. Promise me something. What? Don't confront her until you know everything. I promise. You'd better. She hugged me before leaving. That evening, Lily called again. I found him. My heart raced. The man. Yes. Who is he? Daniel Brooks. How? I searched the restaurant's charity sponsors. And his picture matched. What does he do? Real estate. I opened my laptop. Within seconds, I found him. Luxury developments. Magazine interviews. Business awards. Millions of dollars. Every article called him successful. None mentioned Emma. I stared at another photo. It was definitely him. Lily spoke quietly. I don't think he knows about you. What makes you say that? His public photos. What about them? He's smiling beside Emma. What? but they're standing close. Too close. Very. She sent another picture. My chest tightened. Emma stood beside Daniel. His hand rested lightly on her back. She was smiling. Not politely. Not professionally. The same smile she gave me. I couldn't breathe. Claire's words echoed inside my head. Don't explode. Find the truth. I forced myself to stay calm. The next morning, Emma walked into the kitchen wearing my favorite blue dress. Morning. Morning. She poured coffee. You're quiet. Just tired. You've been working too hard. I guess. She walked over and kissed me. I'll make dinner tonight. You don't have to. I want to. She smiled warmly. For a moment, she looked exactly like the woman I planned to marry. Then her phone buzzed. She glanced at it. A tiny smile crossed her face. Not for me. For whoever had texted her. She quickly locked the screen. I should go. Busy day. Work conference. When? This Saturday. All day, and most of the evening. I nodded. Sounds important. It is. She kissed me one last time. I love you. I know. She paused. You know? I forced a laugh. I mean, I love you too. She smiled again before leaving. As soon as the door shut, Lily called. I found something else. What? There isn't any work conference. My hands clenched. What do you mean? The hotel hosting it has a charity gala instead. I froze. Are you sure? Positive. So that's where she's going. I think so. I opened the event page. Elegant ballroom. Black tie dress code. Guest list. Sponsors. Daniel Brooks. Everything suddenly fit together. Emma wasn't attending a conference. She was going to a gala. With him. I closed my laptop and took a long breath. No more guessing. No more assumptions. No more excuses. This time, I wasn't staying home. This time, I was going to see the truth with my own eyes. I looked at the invitation details one last time. Then I whispered, I'll see you there. The charity gala filled the hotel with music, expensive suits, sparkling dresses, and fake smiles. I adjusted my borrowed tuxedo and walked through the entrance. Nobody looked twice at me. That was exactly what I wanted. I wasn't there to enjoy the evening. I was there to find the truth. I stayed near the back of the ballroom, pretending to study the decorations while my eyes searched every corner. My phone rested inside my jacket pocket. The camera app was already open. I checked the time. Emma had told me she was attending a work conference. Instead, I was standing inside a charity gala. My heartbeat grew louder with every passing second. Then the entrance doors opened. She walked in. My breath caught. Emma wore the silver necklace I had given her the night I proposed. She had cried when I placed it around her neck. I'll treasure this forever, she had whispered. Now she wore it for another man. I quickly lifted my phone and started recording. Emma looked around the room. She smiled. Not the polite smile she used with strangers. The real one. The smile I had once believed belonged only to me. A tall man stepped toward her. Daniel. He opened his arms. Emma walked straight into them without hesitation. He hugged her tightly. Then she looked into his eyes. I missed you, I heard her say. I missed you too, Daniel replied. Before I could breathe, she kissed him. Not a quick greeting. Not an awkward mistake. A real kiss. Long. Comfortable. Natural. My fingers tightened around my phone. Every part of me wanted to run across the room. Every part of me wanted to scream. Instead, I stood completely still. The recording continued. Daniel smiled. You look beautiful. Emma laughed softly. You always say that. Because it's always true. She touched his face. I was afraid I wouldn't make it. I knew you'd come. I'm sorry work has been so busy. He shook his head. Forget work. Tonight is ours. She nodded happily. Our night. I felt something inside me crack. For years, I had imagined our future. Our wedding. Our honeymoon. Our children. Now I was watching another man talk as if those dreams belonged to him. Because maybe they did. I kept recording. Daniel handed Emma a small gift box. You didn't have to. I wanted to. She opened it carefully. Her eyes lit up. It's beautiful. You deserve beautiful things. She hugged him again. My stomach twisted. I remembered every excuse Emma had given me about saving money. Now I understood why. She wasn't saving. She was collecting gifts. I stepped farther behind a tall flower arrangement, trying to stay hidden. My breathing became uneven. Excuse me. I turned quickly. A young woman smiled at me. I haven't seen you before. I probably came late. She laughed. So did I. She extended her hand. I'm Sophia. I shook it automatically. I'm Ethan. You here with one of the sponsors? Something like that. She smiled. My brother invited half the city. I frowned. Your brother? Daniel. I forced myself to stay calm. Oh, you know him? Not personally. He's impossible to keep up with. She laughed again. Always working. I glanced toward Daniel. He and Emma were still talking. Sophia followed my eyes. Oh, you noticed them? I stayed quiet. They look cute together, don't they? My chest tightened. I guess. Sophia smiled warmly. My brother hasn't looked this happy in years. Really, after his last relationship ended, he stopped dating. And now, he says Emma changed everything. I swallowed hard. How long have they been together? A little over a year. The room suddenly felt smaller. A year. Emma and I had been engaged for 8 months. Sophia continued smiling. I've never seen him this serious. Serious? He keeps talking about marriage. My heart nearly stopped. Marriage? Yeah. He said he finally found the right woman. I stared at her. She noticed my expression. Are you okay? Just surprised. Why? I didn't realize they were so close. Oh, they're inseparable. She lowered her voice. My parents already think of Emma as family. Family. The word echoed painfully inside my head. Sophia smiled again. I hope he proposes soon. I couldn't answer. Instead, I looked back toward Emma. She laughed at something Daniel whispered. Then she slipped her hand into his. No hesitation. No guilt. Nothing. Sophia tilted her head. You really don't know them? I've heard about Daniel. Then you probably know he's careful. What do you mean? He doesn't date casually. She smiled proudly. If he loves someone, he gives everything. And Emma? Oh, she's completely devoted to him. My heartbeat slowed. Not because I felt better. Because something finally became clear. Daniel wasn't acting. He wasn't hiding. He wasn't looking around nervously. He truly believed Emma belonged only to him. He didn't know about me. He couldn't. I looked at Sophia. Does your brother know Emma was ever engaged? She frowned. Engaged? Never mind. No. Sophia shook her head confidently. Emma told us she spent years focusing on her career. She never mentioned another relationship. Another lie. Not just to me. To everyone. She had built 2 completely different lives. One with me. One with Daniel. Neither man knew the other existed. Sophia checked her phone. I should find my parents. It was nice meeting you. You too. She walked away. I stood frozen. Everything had changed. When I entered the gala, I believed Daniel had stolen my future. Now I realized he had been living inside the same lie. He wasn't my enemy. He was another victim. I looked down at my phone. The recording had captured everything. The kiss. The hugs. The conversations. The gifts. Enough evidence to destroy every lie Emma had built. I could walk across the ballroom. Play the video. Expose her in front of everyone. I imagined her face. Daniel's confusion. Sophia's heartbreak. The entire room watching. My hand tightened around the phone. No, I whispered. Not yet. If I confronted her now, I would only end one lie. I wanted to understand all of them. Why had she done this? Why build 2 separate lives? Why promise forever to 2 different men? Those answers mattered. Because without them, revenge would only satisfy my anger. With them, I could destroy every lie she had ever told. I slipped my phone back into my pocket. One last time, I looked across the ballroom. Emma leaned against Daniel, smiling like the happiest woman in the world. She had no idea I had seen everything. She had no idea her secret was no longer safe. I turned around and walked toward the exit. Each step felt lighter than the last. My heart was still broken. My future was still gone. But something new had taken its place. Not hope. Not forgiveness. Purpose. The man who entered the gala wanted answers. The man leaving carried proof. And for the first time since Emma's first lie, heartbreak stopped leading my decisions. Revenge quietly took its place. The morning after the gala, Emma walked into the kitchen smiling. You're awake early. I couldn't sleep. She kissed my forehead. You work too much. I guess. She poured herself coffee. My conference went well. I looked at her. That's good. You didn't ask how it went. I figured you'd tell me. She smiled. It was boring. I almost laughed. Boring. That was her word for kissing another man at a charity gala. You okay? She asked. I'm just tired. You've seemed distant. Work. She nodded. I understand. No, she didn't. She had no idea what I understood now. She picked up her purse. I'll be home early. I'll be here. I love you. The words hung between us. I know. She smiled and left. The moment the door closed, I sat down and covered my face. Every lie sounded smoother than the one before. My phone rang. Lily, how are you holding up? I don't know anymore. You watched the video again, didn't you? 3 times. Ethan, I kept hoping I'd imagined it. You didn't. I stayed quiet. She sighed. I still feel guilty. You shouldn't. I should have noticed sooner. You trusted your friend. And she used that trust. So did she use mine. Neither of us spoke for several seconds. Finally, Lily asked, "What's your plan?" I'm still pretending. That must be exhausting. It is. But I need to know everything. I'll help however I can. You already are. No. She sounded determined. I'm staying until this is over. Thank you. You'd do the same for me. I would. She laughed softly. I know. That afternoon, Ryan texted me. Can we meet? I agreed. An hour later, we sat inside a quiet cafe. He looked nervous. You've been avoiding me, I said. I know. Why? He stared at his coffee. Because I need to tell you something. What? I should have told you months ago. My stomach tightened. What happened? He rubbed his hands together. I saw Emma. Where? Downtown. Doing what? Having dinner. With who? A man. I froze. You knew? I didn't know. You just said. I saw them once. When? About 5 months ago. 5 months. Before our wedding invitations. Before my proposal party. Before everything. Why didn't you tell me? Because I thought there had to be a reason. What reason? I don't know. Business. Family. An old friend. I stared at him. You watched her have dinner with another man. I did. And you stayed silent. I honestly believed there was an explanation. I laughed bitterly. So did I. Ryan looked miserable. I'm sorry. I trusted you. I know. You were my best friend. I failed you. I wanted to stay angry. I really did. But I saw the regret in his eyes. You should have told me. I know. I can't change that. No. He looked at me carefully. Can you forgive me? I took a long breath. Not today. He nodded slowly. I understand. I need time. You can have all the time you need. We finished our drinks in silence. When I got home, I found a message from Sophia. Coffee tomorrow? My brother's looking for business contacts. You seemed interesting. Asterisk asterisk. I stared at the screen. This was the opportunity one needed. I replied, sure. The next afternoon, I met Sophia at a small cafe. Daniel arrived a few minutes later. He smiled warmly. Ethan, right? That's me. He shook my hand firmly. Nice meeting you. You too. Sophia grinned. I told you he'd show up. Daniel laughed. I wasn't worried. We ordered coffee. The conversation stayed casual. Business. Travel. Sports. Nothing about Emma. I watched him carefully. He wasn't arrogant. He wasn't cruel. He listened before speaking. He thanked the waitress. He smiled easily. Nothing about him matched the villain I had imagined. So, Daniel asked, what line of work are you in? I answered honestly. He nodded. That's impressive. Thanks. You ever thought about investing? Sometimes. We should talk. I'd like that. The words surprised even me. An hour passed quickly. As we stood to leave, Daniel smiled. I hope we do this again. I'd like that too. He shook my hand once more. Take care. You too. After he left, Sophia looked at me. What do you think? About what? My brother. He's... I searched for the right word. Kind. She smiled proudly. I know. He deserves someone good. Those words hit harder than she realized. He does, I quietly agreed. That evening, Emma was waiting at home. I have good news. What is it? The florist confirmed everything. Great. And the venue called. What did they say? They loved our final guest list. She wrapped her arms around me. I can't believe we're getting married so soon. I forced a smile. Neither can I. She looked into my eyes. You're happy, right? Of course. I've been dreaming about this day forever. Another lie. I already picked my final dress. I'm sure it's beautiful. You haven't even seen it. I don't need to. She laughed. You always know what to say. If only she knew how difficult every word had become. She reached for my hand. I promise our wedding will be perfect. The word promise echoed painfully inside my head. How many promises had she already broken? She leaned against me. I'll never hurt you. I nearly stopped breathing. She said it so naturally, so confidently, as if betrayal had never existed, as if another life wasn't waiting for her whenever she walked out my door. I believe you, I whispered. The lie tasted worse than anything she had ever said. Later that night, after Emma fell asleep, I sat alone on the balcony. The city lights stretched across the darkness. My phone buzzed. Lily, any updates? I replied immediately. Daniel isn't the enemy. She answered. I thought you might say that. I stared into the night. Emma had fooled both of us. Maybe even more people. Ryan had trusted her. Lily had trusted her. Daniel loved her. His family welcomed her. And I was planning to marry her. She had built an entire world out of lies. I couldn't breathe inside it anymore. Every morning started with another performance. Every evening ended with another fake promise. Every kiss reminded me of the gala. Every smile reminded me of the recording in my phone. I looked through the balcony window. Emma slept peacefully. She had no idea I knew the truth. She had no idea every lie was slowly pushing me toward a decision. I couldn't keep pretending. Not for another week. Not for another day if I could help it. Whatever happened next would change every life connected to hers. And I was finally ready to stop playing blind. Wedding mornings were supposed to feel magical. Mine felt like a funeral. I stood in front of the mirror, adjusting my tie while staring at a man I barely recognized. There were dark circles beneath my eyes. My smile was gone. My future had already ended. Only the ceremony remained. A knock came at the door. My father walked in. You ready, son? I think so. He smiled proudly. You look handsome. Thanks. He straightened my jacket. Your mother has been crying since sunrise. I managed a small laugh. That sounds like her. He nodded. Today starts a wonderful life. The words hurt more than he knew. I hope you're right. He hugged me tightly. I'm proud of you. I love you, Dad. I love you too. When he left, I closed my eyes. I'm sorry, I whispered. A few minutes later, my mother entered. She was already wiping tears away. Oh, look at you. Mom, you've grown into such a good man. She hugged me. I can't believe my little boy is getting married. Neither could I. You okay? She asked. Just nervous. That's normal. She smiled warmly. Emma is lucky. I looked away. No, I'm the lucky one. The lie almost broke me. Outside, guests filled the garden. Beautiful white flowers lined the aisle. Soft music floated through the air. Everything looked exactly the way Emma had dreamed. People laughed. Children ran between tables. Friends congratulated me. I thanked them with empty smiles. Ryan approached quietly. You don't have to do this. I know. You can still leave. I won't disappear. Then what? You'll see. He looked confused. I trust you. I know. Claire joined us. She squeezed my hand. Are you certain? Yes. Whatever happens, I'm beside you. I know. Lily walked over next. She looked nervous. The projector is ready. I nodded. The video? Loaded. Thank you. She swallowed hard. I'm sorry. You've already apologized. I still feel responsible. You helped me find the truth. She hugged me tightly. I'm here. I know. The music changed. Everyone stood. The ceremony was beginning. I took my place at the altar. My heartbeat remained strangely calm. The doors opened. Emma appeared. She looked beautiful. The wedding dress shimmered beneath the afternoon sunlight. I remembered the day we bought it. She had cried in the fitting room. I've dreamed about this dress since I was little. I had kissed her forehead. You look perfect. Now she smiled at me exactly the same way. She slowly walked down the aisle. Guests smiled. My mother cried. My father beamed with pride. Emma finally reached me. You look amazing, she whispered. So do you. She squeezed my hand. I can't believe today is finally here. Neither could I. The officiant smiled. Dear friends and family, we are gathered here today. Wait. My voice echoed across the garden. The officiant stopped speaking. Every face turned toward me. Emma looked confused. Ethan, I looked at the guests. I need everyone to watch something before this ceremony continues. Whispers spread through the crowd. Emma frowned. What are you doing? I owe everyone the truth. She laughed nervously. What truth? I turned toward the projector screen prepared for our wedding slideshow. Lily. She pressed a button. The screen lit up. The first image appeared. The charity gala. Emma's smile disappeared. No. The video started playing. Everyone watched silently. Emma walked into Daniel's arms. The room filled with shocked whispers. Then the kiss appeared. A loud gasp swept through the audience. My mother covered her mouth. Ryan lowered his head. Claire closed her eyes. Emma grabbed my arm. Ethan, stop this. I gently pulled away. The recording continued. Daniel handed her the gift. She smiled. She hugged him. She called him, my love. More gasps. Someone cried. Emma stepped toward the projector. Turn it off. Nobody moved. The final clip ended. Silence. Complete silence. Then another voice spoke. What is this? Everyone turned. Daniel stood near the back of the garden. His face was completely pale. Beside him stood Sophia. She looked equally shocked. Emma's eyes widened. Daniel. He slowly walked forward. I received an anonymous invitation. His voice trembled. I thought it was a mistake. He looked at me. Who are you? I answered quietly. I'm Ethan. He frowned. And I'm the man she was about to marry. His entire body froze. No. I nodded. Yes. Daniel looked at Emma. Tell me he's lying. She couldn't speak. Emma. You told me you were single. She burst into tears. I can explain. You told my family you had never been engaged. I was going to tell you. When? She looked at me. Then back at Daniel. I love both of you. The words echoed across the garden. Sophia stepped backward. Oh my God. Daniel stared at Emma in disbelief. You lied to me. I didn't mean. You met my parents. I know. You talked about marriage. I was confused. He laughed bitterly. Confused. Emma reached toward him. Please. He stepped away. Don't touch me. She turned toward me. Ethan. I remained silent. I never wanted to hurt you. You already did. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. How was it supposed to happen? She cried harder. I don't know. Exactly. She looked around desperately. Everyone's judging me. No. I shook my head. They're watching the consequences. My mother quietly sat down, unable to speak. My father looked completely heartbroken. Claire walked over and held our mother. Ryan wiped his eyes. Lily stared at the ground. Nobody defended Emma. Because nobody could. The evidence had already spoken. Emma reached for my hand one last time. Please don't leave. I looked at the engagement ring on my finger. I slowly pulled it off. The metal suddenly felt heavier than ever. I placed it gently into her shaking hand. This belonged to the man who trusted you. A tear rolled down my face. He doesn't exist anymore. She sobbed. I'm sorry. I believe you. She looked surprised. You are sorry. I took one step backward. But being sorry doesn't rebuild a future. Daniel quietly removed the promise ring from his own finger. He dropped it beside mine. Without another word, he turned and walked away. Sophia followed him, crying. I looked around one final time. My family. My voice almost broke. I'm sorry you had to learn the truth this way. Nobody blamed me. They couldn't. I turned away from the altar. Behind me, Emma called my name again and again. I never looked back. With every step away from the wedding that never happened, I left behind the lies, the promises, and the life I thought was waiting for me. For the first time in months, I wasn't walking toward my future. I was finally walking free. The first morning after the canceled wedding felt strangely quiet. No wedding schedule. No endless phone calls. No pretending. I sat on my apartment balcony with a cup of coffee, staring at the empty street. For the first time in months, I wasn't wondering where Emma was. I already knew she wasn't part of my future. My phone vibrated. A message from Emma. Please talk to me. I locked the screen without answering. An hour later, it buzzed again. I'm so sorry. I ignored it. By evening, another message appeared. You deserve an explanation. I whispered to myself. I already got one. The explanation had played on a projector in front of everyone I loved. I didn't need another version. 2 weeks passed. Life didn't become easier. It simply became quieter. One afternoon, Lily stopped by carrying takeout. You still forgetting to eat? Sometimes. She placed the food on the table. I'm not letting you starve. I smiled. You're becoming bossy. I learned from Claire. That made me laugh. There it is. What? A real smile. I guess I missed it. I definitely did. We ate together in comfortable silence. Finally, she looked at me. I moved. I frowned. You left your apartment? She nodded. I couldn't stay across the hall from Emma anymore. Did she try talking to you? Every day. And I blocked her. I looked at her. That couldn't have been easy. It wasn't. She sighed. She didn't just lie to you. I know. She turned me into an excuse. I nodded slowly. I'll never forgive that. You don't have to. She smiled sadly. I finally realized something. What? Loyalty means nothing if it's built on lies. Those words stayed with me long after she left. A few days later, Ryan called. Can we meet again? I hesitated. Okay. We met at the same cafe. He looked less nervous this time. I've been thinking. So have I. He nodded. I don't expect forgiveness overnight. You won't get it. I know. He slid an envelope across the table. What's this? I wrote everything. I opened it. Inside was a timeline. The day he saw Emma. Every detail he remembered. Dates. Locations. Even why he stayed silent. I wanted you to know I wasn't hiding anything anymore. I looked up. This couldn't have been easy. It wasn't. He took a deep breath. I failed as your friend once. I won't do it again. I folded the papers carefully. I still need time. You can take all the time you need. I nodded. But thank you. His shoulders relaxed. I'll earn your trust. One day at a time. Exactly. For the first time since the wedding, our conversation didn't feel broken. It felt honest. That alone was progress. The following week, my phone rang again. An unfamiliar number. Hello. Hi. Ethan. Speaking. This is Sophia. I smiled slightly. Hi. I hope I'm not bothering you. You're not. I've wanted to call for days. You don't need to apologize. I still want to. She paused. I'm sorry my brother became part of all this. He wasn't part of the problem. He feels terrible. So do I. She laughed softly. I suppose that's true. We talked for almost an hour. About everything except Emma. Books. Travel. Family. Work. It felt normal. Before hanging up, she asked, would you like coffee sometime? As friends. She laughed. Yes. I'd like that. A few days later, we met. She smiled the moment she saw me. You look better. I finally slept. That's a good start. We spent the afternoon talking. Not about betrayal. Not about heartbreak. Just life. At one point she laughed so hard she nearly spilled her coffee. Her laughter became contagious. Without thinking, I laughed too. A real laugh. Not forced. Not polite. Real. Sophia pointed at me. There. What? You smiled. I guess I did. I've been hoping to see that. So have I. Walking home, I realized something. Healing didn't arrive all at once. It arrived in tiny moments. One conversation. One smile. One peaceful afternoon. My phone buzzed again. Emma, can we please meet? Delete. Another message. I still love you. Delete. Another. I'll spend my life making this right. Delete. Every message reminded me of the projector. The gala. The lies. The rings. Love couldn't erase those memories. News spread surprisingly fast. Claire called one evening. You heard? Heard what? Emma lost Daniel completely. I assumed she would. No. I mean permanently. What happened? He found out about even more lies. I stayed quiet. Claire continued. She had borrowed money from him. What? And told him it was for family emergencies. I closed my eyes. There weren't any emergencies. Exactly. Another consequence. A few days later, Ryan sent me an article. Emma's employer had started an internal investigation. Apparently, several expensive gifts from clients had never been reported properly. The company believed company policies had been violated. I stared at the screen. Months earlier, I would have rushed to defend her. Now I simply closed the article. I felt no satisfaction. No excitement. Just acceptance. Karma wasn't loud. It didn't arrive with fireworks. It quietly collected unpaid debts. One choice. One lie. One consequence. Then another. Sophia called that evening. You sound tired. I've had a long day. You want to walk? Sure. We met at the Riverside Park. The sunset painted the water orange. For several minutes we simply walked. Finally, she asked, do you ever miss her? I answered honestly. I miss who I thought she was. She nodded. I understand. I don't miss the lies. No. I miss the future I imagined. She smiled gently. That future never really existed. I know. And that's painful. It is. She looked toward the river. But it also means you're free to build a real one. I smiled. You always know what to say. My brother says I talk too much. I disagree. She laughed. There it is again. What? Another real smile. I realized she was right. It came naturally now. Not because my pain had disappeared. Because my life had finally started moving again. As I walked beside my new friend beneath the fading evening sky, I understood something simple. Justice wasn't always dramatic. Sometimes it arrived quietly, allowing truth to separate itself from lies until everyone finally stood exactly where their choices had led them. And for the first time since everything fell apart, I was grateful that my own path no longer included Emma. People think healing begins the moment justice arrives. It doesn't. Justice ended my relationship. Healing forced me to face myself. The nightmares started almost immediately. Some nights I dreamed I was standing at the altar again. Everyone smiled. Emma walked toward me. Then the projector switched on by itself. The guests disappeared. Only I remained, watching the same kiss over and over. Every time I woke up, my heart was racing. One morning, Claire found me sitting on my balcony before sunrise. You didn't sleep. Not much. Again. I nodded. She handed me a cup of coffee. You can't keep doing this. I'm trying. I know. She sat beside me. Ethan. What? I want you to see someone. I looked at her. A lawyer? She smiled gently. No. A psychologist. I sighed. I don't know. You don't have to carry this alone. I'm managing. No. She shook her head. You're surviving. There's a difference. I stayed quiet. She squeezed my shoulder. Please. I looked down at my untouched coffee. Okay. A week later, I sat inside a quiet office. A calm man smiled warmly. I'm Dr. Nathan Brooks. It's nice to meet you. You too, Ethan. I sat carefully. I've never done this before. Most people haven't. He leaned back comfortably. So, where would you like to begin? I don't know. That's perfectly acceptable. I laughed nervously. I thought you'd ask difficult questions. I will. But not first. Something about his voice made it easier to breathe. After several minutes, I finally spoke. I was supposed to get married. He nodded. I know. Instead, I exposed my fiancée in front of everyone. That must have been painful. It was. I keep wondering what I missed. He listened without interrupting. I trusted her completely. Trust isn't a mistake. I frowned. It feels like one. He shook his head. No. It feels foolish. Being deceived doesn't make you foolish. What does it make me? Human. I looked at him. He continued calmly. People who betray often convince themselves their choices are justified. So betrayal tells us more about the betrayer than the betrayed. Those words stayed with me. So this isn't my failure? No. It never was. I felt something loosen inside my chest. Not disappear. Just loosen. I returned the following week. Then the week after. Every session uncovered something new. Not about Emma. About me. I learned how guilt disguised itself as responsibility. I learned why trust felt impossible after betrayal. Most importantly, I learned that healing wasn't forgetting. It was remembering without falling apart. One afternoon, my manager called me into his office. I've been waiting. For what? You turned down the regional promotion. I know. Is your situation different now? I smiled slightly. It is. The position is still yours. I looked at him. You mean that? We never wanted anyone else. Months ago, I had rejected the promotion because Emma didn't want to move. Now there was nothing keeping me back. I'll accept. He smiled broadly. Congratulations. Walking out of his office felt strangely exciting. For the first time in months, I had made a decision based entirely on my own future. That evening, I told Sophia, You accepted? I did. She clapped happily. I knew you would. I almost didn't. Why? I kept thinking about the old plans. She smiled gently. Those weren't your plans anymore. I know. I'm proud of you. Thank you. We celebrated with dinner. Not because anything extraordinary had happened. Because ordinary happiness finally felt possible again. As we walked afterward, Sophia looked thoughtful. Can I admit something? Of course. I blamed myself. For what? My brother. You didn't do anything. I introduced Emma to my family. You trusted her. I know. But I still felt responsible. I nodded slowly. I understand. She looked surprised. You do? I've spent months blaming myself too. She smiled sadly. I guess we're both learning. We are. There was no awkwardness between us. No pressure. No expectation. Just two people rebuilding after the same storm. That friendship became one of the strongest parts of my new life. Several weeks later, Ryan called. You seen the news? No. Emma posted something. I hesitated before opening my phone. There it was. A public statement. She admitted lying. She apologized to everyone she had hurt. She accepted responsibility. Comments flooded beneath it. Some wished her well. Many couldn't forgive her. Most simply walked away. The sympathy she expected never came. People remembered actions longer than apologies. Later that evening, Lily sent me a message. Did you read it? Yes. How do you feel? I thought carefully before answering. Nothing. That surprised even me. Months earlier, every mention of Emma had ruined my day. Now it barely changed my heartbeat. The following therapy session, I mentioned the statement. Dr. Brooks smiled. What does that tell you? I think I'm moving on. Exactly. You don't need her punishment anymore. I don't. No. You've already chosen your own future. I nodded. I think you're right. Before leaving, he asked one final question. If Emma could undo everything, Would your answer change? I thought about the altar, the projector, Daniel, Sophia, my family, the months of lies. Then I smiled peacefully. No. Why? Because I finally understand something. What? The person I wanted to marry never actually existed. Dr. Brooks smiled. I think you've made remarkable progress. Walking outside, I noticed the sun shining brighter than I remembered. Maybe it wasn't brighter. Maybe I was finally looking up again. Healing hadn't erased the scars. It had simply taught me they didn't have to control my future. And somewhere else in the city, Emma was learning a different lesson. One selfish decision hadn't only destroyed the life she had. It had destroyed every honest future she could have built. Meanwhile, I was finally building one of my own, one peaceful step at a time. Almost a year passed before Emma contacted me again. The message was short. Please meet me once. Just once. No excuses. No lies. Asterisk asterisk. I stared at the screen for several minutes. Then I replied. Tomorrow. 1 hour. Asterisk asterisk. Not because I still loved her. Not because I wanted answers. Because I realized I no longer hated her. The next afternoon, I arrived at a quiet cafe near the edge of town. Emma was already there. She stood as I approached. For a moment, I barely recognized her. She looked thinner, older, not in years, in regret. Thank you for coming, she said softly. I said 1 hour. I know. We sat across from each other. Neither of us spoke immediately. Finally, she looked at me. You look happy. I've been healing. She nodded. I'm glad. I folded my hands together. You wanted to talk. I did. She took a slow breath. I'm not here to ask you to come back. I stayed silent. I know that's impossible. It is. She nodded again. I finally understand that. Another long silence passed. Then she whispered, I'm sorry. I looked into her eyes. For the first time in a long time, I believed those words. Not because they erased anything. Because they sounded honest. I wasn't unhappy with you, she continued. I know. I loved you. I didn't answer. She looked down at her coffee. That sounds impossible now. It does. She smiled sadly. I kept telling myself I could manage everything. 2 lives. Yes. Why? She closed her eyes. I liked the attention, the excitement, the expensive gifts, the feeling that everyone wanted me. Her voice trembled. I convinced myself nobody would get hurt. You knew that wasn't true. I ignored it. She wiped away a tear. Every lie made the next one easier. I noticed. I believed I was smarter than everyone. She laughed bitterly. I wasn't. No. She looked at me carefully. When the wedding ended, she stopped speaking for a moment. I lost Daniel. I know. I lost my job. I heard. My friends left. I remained quiet. My parents couldn't even look at me for weeks. She swallowed hard. I kept asking why my life collapsed. And I finally realized it didn't collapse in one day. She met my eyes. It collapsed one lie at a time. I nodded slowly. That's true. She smiled weakly. Losing everything taught me what honesty was worth. I listened without interrupting. I wish I'd learned sooner. So do I. She took another deep breath. I don't expect forgiveness. You shouldn't. I don't expect friendship. No. I just wanted you to hear the truth. I looked at her for several seconds. Then I spoke quietly. Thank you. She looked surprised. For what? For finally telling the truth. A tear rolled down her face. I should have done it years ago. Yes. I'm sorry. I know. She looked out the window. I think about the wedding every day. I don't. She slowly turned back toward me. You don't. Not anymore. What do you think about instead? My future. She smiled through her tears. I'm glad. Another silence settled between us. This one felt different. Not heavy. Peaceful. Emma finally stood. I won't contact you again. I think that's best. I hope you're happy. I am. She nodded. You deserve that. Before leaving, she whispered one final sentence. You were the best man I ever knew. I watched her walk away. I didn't stop her. I didn't look back. Some endings didn't need another conversation. They only needed acceptance. Months later, spring returned. Claire invited everyone to spend the weekend at a quiet lake outside the city. My parents came. Ryan came. Lily came. Sophia came too. We spent the afternoon laughing, grilling food, and walking beside the water. My mother smiled more than I had seen in over a year. You finally look like yourself again. I feel like myself again. She hugged me tightly. I missed this smile. I missed it too. Ryan walked over carrying drinks. I still owe you. You don't. I do. He handed me a bottle. I'll spend the rest of my life proving I'm a better friend. I smiled. I believe you. He laughed. I never thought I'd hear that. Lily joined us. You boys getting emotional again? Ryan rolled his eyes. Mind your own business. She laughed. Impossible. The sound made everyone else laugh too. Later that evening, I stood beside the lake with Sophia. The water reflected the orange sunset. She skipped a small stone across the surface. I've always loved this place. I can see why. She smiled. It's peaceful. It is. We watched the ripples disappear. After a while, she asked quietly, Any regrets? I thought carefully. I regret trusting the wrong person. She nodded. But I don't regret becoming the person I am now. She smiled warmly. I like that answer. I learned something. What? I thought revenge would fix everything. And it didn't. What did? I looked across the lake where my family laughed together. Claire was teasing Ryan. Lily was helping my father cook. My mother smiled beside them. For the first time in a long time, everything felt calm. Peace, I answered. Sophia looked at me. I think that's your greatest victory. It is. She gently touched my shoulder. You earned it. I smiled. So did you. We stood together without saying another word. The silence no longer reminded me of betrayal. It reminded me of healing. As the sun disappeared behind the hills, I looked back on everything that had happened. For a long time, I believed Emma had destroyed my life. I was wrong. She had destroyed the future she could have shared with me. My future had simply taken a different road. A better one. I turned away from the lake and walked toward the people waiting for me. Toward laughter. Toward honesty. Toward tomorrow. I finally understood that the strongest revenge was never exposing a lie. It was building a life so full of peace that betrayal could never break me again. And this time, I walked forward without ever looking back.